Chapter 4, Bad Feelings Don't Lie. Start of Episode 2. Time skip history class, next day again. Katie sat back of the class again, with Zoelle sitting at the front. Mr. Tanner talking to the class. Originally discovered nearly 5 centuries ago, it hadn't been over Mystic Falls in over 145 years. Katie notices Elena and Stefan staring at each other again, but her eyes darts back to Mr. Tanner. Mr. Tanner looks over at Elena and Stefan. "Are we bothering you? Mr. Salvatore, Miss Gilbert." Elena shook her head, and the bell rings and everyone starts to pack up. Time skip bathroom. Katie didn't linger in the hallway. "Hey, Katie," Zoelle started, jogging a step to catch up. "I'll catch you later," Katie said quietly, already turning toward the bathrooms. Zoelle looks confused, but she didn't push. The restroom was empty. Katie locked herself into the far stall, set her bag down, and leaned her forehead briefly against the door. She didn't cry, she didn't panic. She just breathed until the pressure dulled. Then she cut herself. The action was practiced, controlled. She didn't think about why thinking made it worse. When she was done, she cleaned up, pulled her sleeve back down, and flushed the toilet. She washed her hands at the sink. Her reflection stared back at her, this time unchanged. "Get it together," Katie murmured to herself. She left the bathroom. Time skip hallway. Katie sees Elena and Stefan walk together. Stefan takes a book out of his bag. "I brought it, I told you." Elena takes the book out of Stefan's hand. Wuthering Heights by Ellis Bell. "You know, I can't believe she didn't use her real name." Stefan smiles as he explains. All the Bronte sisters used pseudonyms. It was the time. Female writers were very accepted then. Elena looks at Stefan confused. "Where did you get it?" Stefan looks down before back at Elena. It was passed down through the family." Elena nods slowly. "Ah." Stefan looks at her. "I have lots of books, go ahead, keep it." Elena shakes her head. "Oh, no, but I would like to read it again. I promise I'll give it back." Zoelle appeared at Katie's side again, whispering, "Okay, so he's hot and literary. That feels illegal." Katie didn't smile, or strategic. Zoelle gave her a look. "You're exhausting." "Someone has to be." Katie looks over to the door as Caroline and Bonnie walks in. Caroline looks at Bonnie. "I'm confused. Are you psychic or clairvoyant?" Bonnie smiles. "Technically, Graham says I'm a witch. My ancestors were these really cool Salem witch chicks or something. Graham's tried to explain it, but she was looped on the liquor. I tuned out. Crazy family, yes. Witches, I don't think so." Caroline smiles. "Yeah, feel free to conjure up the name and number of that guy from last night." Bonnie looks at her. "I didn't see him. You did. Why didn't you just talk to him?" Caroline shrugs her shoulders. "I don't know. I was drunk." Katie shifted her weight. "At least she's honest," Zoelle muttered. Caroline glanced over, eyes flicking to Katie. "Wow, commentary from the peanut gallery." Katie met her gaze. "You started the conversation." Caroline scoffed and walked off. Zoelle exhaled after holding her breath. And there it is. Time skip outside. Both Katie and Zoelle walks outside to get some fresh air, and Katie sees Jeremy leave out of the door and watches him walk over to Tyler. "Hey, Tyler," Jeremy calls out as he walks over. "Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just wondering how Vicky is since you guys are close. Is she okay?" Tyler looks at Jeremy. "She's fine, now get out of here." Zoelle rolls her eyes at that. Jeremy shook her head. "How bad is she? Do they know what attacked her? Is she gonna recover? Was she happy to see you? What room was she in?" Tyler looks away for a moment, then back at Jeremy. "I'm gonna kick your ass." Jeremy steps closer. "Yeah, you keep saying that, but when are you actually going to do it? Huh, 'cause I vote for right here and right now." Jeremy shoves Tyler. Tyler stares at him. "Walk away, Gilbert. It's your final warning." Jeremy gets in his face. "No, this is your final warning, Dick. I'm sick of watching you play Vicky. If you hurt her one more time, I swear to God I will kill you." Jeremy leaves, and Tyler scoffs before looking at the girls again. Damn, that was like a death threat. Did you hear that? Tyler asks the girls. Katie watched, arms folded. He's not joking, she said quietly. Zoelle glanced at her. Neither is Tyler. Katie looks over to Elena and Matt as they spoke to each other, and out of the corner of her eye, she notices Stefan's head slightly lift up as Matt said the word vampire, before she looks away again. Time skip, town square evening. Katie stayed with Zoelle as she looks around, and she sees a guy lighting Zoelle's candle, and Zoelle turns around and lights hers. Thanks, Zoe, Katie said as she smiles. Zoelle smiles back. No problems. Katie smiles, and she sees Caroline giving Bonnie a candle. Hey, I got you a candle. Bonnie smiles. Hi, thanks. Elena walks on as she sees Matt, and Katie watches Matt light up Elena's candle, and they both smiled at each other before Elena walks off to light someone else's, but she didn't see it was Stefan yet. Thank you, Stefan said as Elena looks at him as she realized. Hi. Hi, Elena replied before looking over to Matt, then walks off with Stefan. Stefan leans in when they stopped. You know that comet? It's been traveling space for thousands of years, all alone. Elena does a little scoff. Yeah, Bonnie says it's a harbinger of evil. Stefan looking at the comet. I think it's just a ball of snow and ice, trapped on a path that it can't escape. Katie overheard that without Stefan knowing, and she looks away. Once every 145 years, it gets to come home. Stefan finishes off before looking at Elena. I'm sorry about yesterday. I wasn't myself. Elena shakes her head. You seem to spend a lot of time apologizing. Stefan steps beside her. Well, I have a lot to apologize for yesterday that wasn't about you. Okay. Elena looks over to Stefan. You didn't tell me that you had a brother. Stefan looks down. We're not close, it's complicated. Elena nods as she now looks at the sky. Always. Then she looked down. He told me about your ex, Catherine. Stefan looks confused. What did he say? Elena looks at Stefan. That she broke your heart. Stefan looks away. That was a long time ago. Elena shakes her head. When you lose someone, it stays with you, always reminding you of how easy it is to get hurt. Stefan steps in front of her. Elena. Elena looks down to face him. It's okay, Stefan, I get it. You have no idea how much I get it. Complicated bother. Check. Complicated ex. Check. Too complicated to even contemplate dating. Double check. It's okay. We met and we talked and it was epic. But then the sun came up and reality set in. Stefan looks down before looking back at her. So, Elena says, but didn't finishes off her sentence before she blows out her candle and walks off. Zoelle whispered, ouch. Katie, however, didn't respond. Time skip, grill. Katie was at the booth on her own, and she sees Jeremy walk in. Hey, has anyone seen Vicky? Jeremy asks. Tyler speaks up. You're her stalker, you tell us. Jeremy looks at him. I can't find her. Tyler shrugs his shoulders unbothered. Probably found someone to party with. Sorry, pill pusher, you've been replaced. Elena looks confused. What's with the pill pusher? Tyler looks at Elena, then back at Jeremy. Ask him. Jeremy stares at Tyler. You want to do this right now? Elena looks at Jeremy. Are you dealing? Tyler looks at Jeremy. She's never gonna go for you. Jeremy looks at Tyler angry. She already did, over and over and over again. Elena looks confused at the two of them. Caroline nods. Yeah, right. Okay, you slept with Vicky Donovan. I mean, Vicky Donovan slept with you. Elena looks away. Tyler cuts in. There's no way. Jeremy looks at Caroline before at Tyler, and I didn't even have to force her into it. Matt looks over to Tyler. What the hell is he talking about, Ty? Tyler looks at Matt. Nothing, man, ignore him, he's a punk. Matt had enough. You know what? How about all of you just shut up and help me find my sister? Bonnie backs up a bit. We'll check the bathroom. Matt nods. I'll check the square. Jeremy moves to follow Matt. I'll come with you. Elena stops him. Oh, no, you are coming with me. So that's your game now, dealing. Jeremy rolls his eyes. I'm not dealing. Elena looks at Jeremy. I'm sick of the tough love speech, Jer. It's clearly having no impact. Jeremy scoffs. You and Jenna between the two. Elena cuts in. We could stop if you want. Send you a therapist where you'll be forced to deal with it. Or to rehab where you'll sit in group and tell some stranger how you let your life fall apart. Or you could talk to me. Katie looks down as she never gotten that conversation from Caroline, but Zoelle did tell her the same thing. The line of talk to me. Jeremy goes to leave. I vote for none of the above. After finding Vicky, Katie watched Matt help her put a bandage on her neck. Then she sees Stefan walk in like Matt did. Matt looks at Stefan. She said you found her wandering around. Stefan nods. Yeah. Matt does a little nod. So, thanks. Stefan does the same nod before walking off. Caroline rolls her eyes. Just so much drama. Ever notice how the druggies are the biggest attention whores? Katie snapped before she could stop herself. Or maybe they're just hurting. You don't know what's going on in their life. Caroline stares at her. Excuse me. Zoelle stepped in quickly. Okay, nope, not tonight. Caroline rolls her eyes again. Whatever. Stefan walks over to Caroline and Bonnie. Excuse me, hi. Bonnie looks at him. Hi. Stefan looks at them. Have you guys seen Elena? Bonnie shakes her head. I think she went home. Stefan nods and goes to leave, but stops as Bonnie calls out. I'm gonna give you Elena's cell number and her email. Stefan turns to look at them. She is big on texting, and you can tell her I said so. Bonnie says before giving Stefan the napkin, but as soon as Stefan touches her hand by accident, Bonnie gets another vision. Stefan, Caroline and Katie look confused at that. Stefan speaks up first. You okay? Bonnie looks at him. What happened to you? That was so rude. She stands up and walks past. I'm sorry, excuse me. Caroline looks at Stefan. Yeah, she kind of wigs out, it's like her thing. Katie looks away again, before getting up and leaves. Time skip home. Katie was in the living room with Zoelle talking, until she starts to feel that bad feelings again, and she looks over to the door, and she sees Caroline walk in. See, I told you it was fine, Caroline said as she looks at the man. Katie's stomach dropped as Damon stepped inside like he belonged there. Not rushed, not hesitant, like the house had already said yes. Caroline, Katie said as she slowly stood up. Hey. Caroline turned, already annoyed. What? Katie's eyes stayed locked on Damon. He smiled at her slow, knowing. You invited him in, Katie said. It wasn't a question. Caroline rolled her eyes. Relax, he's just a guy. That's not, Katie stopped herself, choosing her words slowly. I don't feel good about this, about him. Damon tilted his head. Wow, is this the part where the little sister gets territorial? Katie ignored him, her focus stayed on Caroline. You shouldn't be alone with him. Caroline laughed, sharp and dismissive. Oh my God, not this again. She stepped closer to Damon on purpose. You're paranoid, Caroline continued. Seriously, Katie, what is your problem? You act like everyone's out to get you. Katie's voice lowered. I'm serious, I felt this before, last night, at the falls. Caroline scoffed. Yeah, well, maybe lay off whatever creepy true crime obsession you're on. Zoelle appeared at the bottom of the stairs. Maybe we should. I'm fine, Caroline snapped. She turned back to Katie, eyes hard. You're such a freak sometimes. Always imaging things, always trying to ruin everything. The words landed where Caroline meant to. Katie swallowed. I'm just trying to. God, Caroline cut in. You're exhausting. Damon smiled wider. Don't worry, he said smoothly, resting a hand against the wall beside Caroline. I'll take good care of her. That's exactly what I'm afraid of, Katie shot back. Caroline groaned. Go away, Katie, you're being a bitch. She grabbed Damon's hand and takes him upstairs. Katie stood there for a moment, frozen, but the bad feeling didn't fade. Inside of Caroline's bedroom, laughter cut off and screams can be heard. End of episode 2. Chapter 5. What We Ignore Still Bleeds. Start of Episode 3. Time skip Forbes' house. Caroline's POV. After that fight with Caroline last night, Katie decided to stay at Elena's house for the night, which Jenna allowed. Caroline woke up in her room with a gasp before she slowly touches her neck and felt blood. She looks over to Damon, who is asleep next to her, and she quietly gets out of bed. She looks over to the door as she slowly starts to head toward it. The floorboard creaks and Caroline looks over to the bed and sees Damon still asleep before slowly walking over to the door again. Her mind races with, I can't believe Katie was right, and I ignored her. Caroline grabbed the handle and slowly locks it before looking back at the bed, and Damon is gone. "Good morning," Damon said as he looks at Caroline as Caroline moved away from him. Caroline shakes her head scared. "Please, don't." Her back hit the lamp, and she looks over to it before grabbing it and hits Damon with it before she jumped onto the bed and got off the other side to get away from him. Caroline grabbed something. Damon raised his finger. Caroline throws it and tries to run to the door, but Damon pushes her back, and Caroline throws the pillow at him. "Get away from me, no," Caroline yells at him. Damon shook his head. This could have gone completely different way. He notices the blood on the pillow before sniffing it, and his vampire face shows again, and he attacks Caroline again. Time skip Mystic Falls High School. Katie POV. Katie, Elena and Bonnie got out of Bonnie's car, and Katie didn't hang around to talk, and she starts to walk toward the building. Inside, Katie walks over to the girl bathrooms, and she sees girls the same age as Elena and Bonnie, and she goes quiet before walking to the far stall again, and she waits until the girls are gone, and she breathes in and out. She kept it quick, controlled and familiar. When she was done, she washed her hands at the sink and stared at her reflection. Her face looked normal. Pale, maybe, but normal. She left before anyone else came in. Time skip history class. Katie sat back of the glass again, but she notices Bonnie distracted, but didn't want to interrupt Tanner as he spoke. World War II ended in. Anyone got anything? Ms. Juan. Juan shrugged her shoulders. Tanner speaks up again. 1945. Elena gets Stefan's attention. FYI, our team sucks. They could use you. Tanner asks another student. Pearl Harbor. Katie notices Matt leaning in closer to hear what Stefan and Elena are saying. Stefan whispers to Elena, "I can't, I'm a loner." Tanner looks at another student. Nothing. Elena looks at Tanner as he calls on to her. Elena struggles to come up with a date. December 7th, 1941. Stefan answers the question. Tanner looks over to Stefan. "Thank you, Miss Gilbert." Some students chuckle at that. Stefan does a little nod. "Anytime." Tanner keeps his eyes on Stefan. "Very well, the fall of the Berlin Wall." 1989. "I'm good with dates, sir." "Are you? How good? Keep it to the year." Stefan nods again. Tanner crosses his arms. "Civil Rights Act." Stefan thinks for a moment. 1964. Tanner looks away for a moment before back at Stefan. John F. Kennedy assassination. 1963. Martin Luther King. 68. Lincoln. 1865. Roe v. Wade. 1973. Brown v. Board. 1954. The Battle of Gettysburg. 1863. Korean War. 1950 to 1953. Tanner leaned forward. It ended in 52. Stefan looks at Elena, then back at Tanner. Actually, sir, it was 53. Tanner turns around after gotten back to the front. Look it up, somebody, quickly. A student speaks up. It was 1953. Tanner looked from the student back to Stefan, and Stefan stared at him before looking over to Elena again. Time skip hallway. Katie walks out of the classroom. Her mind races with what Caroline said last night, and she walks back to the bathroom. Stefan and Elena walk out a few minutes later. Elena looks at Stefan. How did you know all of that? Stefan shrugged his shoulders. Years and years of crossword puzzles, it's a loner thing. But before they walked off to their practice, Stefan stopped in his place and Elena looks at him confused. Stefan's eyes kept darting across the other students before landing over the girls' bathroom. Stefan, are you okay? Elena asks confused. Stefan looks at the bathroom before at Elena. No, something's wrong. You need to go in. Elena looks confused before she walks into the girls' bathroom. Time skip bathroom. Elena walks into the bathroom and she sees Katie washing her hands. Elena walks over to her. Katie, are you okay? Katie shrugged, avoiding her eyes. Yeah. Elena hesitated. Are you sure? Katie looks over to Elena and nods. I'm sure. Elena didn't push more, but confusion grew more on her face before she nods and walks out with her. Time skip hallway. Katie walks past Stefan, but Stefan looks at her, as the smell of blood was strong coming from her before looking back at Elena. Katie said she's fine, Elena said as she stood next to Stefan. Stefan looks at Elena before nodding, but deep down, something felt wrong in his chest. Time skip outside. Katie sat at the bleachers with Zoelle, as she's watching the footballers play their game and the cheerleaders do their thing. Zoelle hugged her jacket tighter. I forgot how intense these practices get, she said, glancing toward the field, and her gaze stops slightly at Tyler, but it moves away. Katie nodded. Yeah. Tanner blew his whistle to stop the game. Damn, one player said. Nice job, nice job. Matt yelled at his teammates as he removes his helmet. Tanner walks over to Tyler as Tyler removes his helmet. Mr. Lockwood, is there anything you're good at? Because it isn't history. Zoelle rolls her eyes. Tanner continues, and it sure as hell isn't defending the ball. Tyler sighs. Yes, coach. Now do it again. Katie looks to her side, and she sees Stefan sat on the opposite of the bleachers, thinking to himself as he plays with his ring. Then her gaze moves towards the cheerleaders, and she sees Elena and Bonnie talking. Bonnie stood up and hugs Elena. Oh my God, you're here. Elena hugs back as she smiled. Yep, I can't be sad girl forever. Only way to get things back to the way they were are to do things that were. Oh, and you're coming to dinner tonight. Bonnie starts to stretch with Elena. I am. Elena nods as she stretches. Mum, you, me, and Stefan. Bonnie looks over to Elena. Elena looks at Bonnie. You have to give him a chance. Bonnie shakes her head. Tonight's no good. Elena tilts her head as Bonnie shrugs her shoulders. Have you seen Caroline? I texted her 100 times. Elena shakes her head as she smiles. Don't change the subject, Bonnie Bennett. You're going to be there. Bonnie pulls a face. Fine, I'll go. Elena smiles as she stretches. Good. Zoelle nudges Katie, and Katie's gaze move from Elena and Bonnie to Stefan and Tanner. Tanner walking with Stefan. Varsity tryouts were last spring, Mr. Salvatore. Stefan looks at the team before at Tanner. I wasn't here then, sir. Tanner speaks up. Then you're not here now as far as I'm concerned. Katie rolls her eyes. Stefan sighs to himself. Mr. Tanner, I realize that you and I didn't get off to the best start, and I want to apologize for that. Tanner looks over to Stefan as Stefan continues. I've played football before, wide receiver mostly, and I'm pretty good. Tanner looks at Stefan up and down. I won't be asking you who won the Super Bowl in '71. Stefan not getting the hint yet. 71 was. He sees Tanner stares at him, and he nods as he looks away. Sorry, I understand that, sir. Tanner leans in closer. Just to see get knocked on your ass. Borrow some gear. Go before I change my mind. Let's run it again. Stefan nods before he leaves to grab the pears. Matt looks at Tyler. First my girlfriend, now my team. Tyler looks at Matt. Dude, this is an opportunity. Football's a contact sport. Sometimes people get hurt. Matt looks at Tyler confused as Tyler puts his helmet back on before he puts his on. Katie gets that bad feeling again, and she looks over to Bonnie and Elena. Bonnie looking around. Seriously, where's Caroline? Elena shrugs her shoulders. I don't know, it's not like her. Bonnie leans to grab her phone. I'll try her again. Elena sighs before she sees a car parking up. Bonnie looks over to the car. Must be the mystery guy from the grill. Elena stood up. That's not a mystery guy, that's Damon Salvatore. Bonnie stood up too. Salvatore, as in Stefan. Caroline shut the door and walks past them both. I got the other brother, hope you don't mind. Katie mutters quietly to herself. Not a flex. She looks over to the car as Elena, Bonnie and Caroline are talking, and she sees Damon staring at her before his gaze moves to Elena with a smirk, and she sees Damon driving off. Katie watches everyone practice. Zoelle leans in. Why won't you do that? Katie scoffs to herself. Wouldn't surprise me if Caroline paid the younger team to not allow me in. She still hates me, but I don't know why. Zoelle looks at her for a moment before looking back at the team, and she sees Elena walk to the back before walking away to watch Stefan play football. Elena and Zoelle were watching the game as Katie watches the cheerleading practice. After a while, Tyler managed to knock Stefan. Tyler leaning over him after removing the mouthpiece. Woo, welcome to the team, buddy. Tanner walks over to them. You gonna live, Salvatore? Stefan gets up. Yeah. Tanner crosses his arms. Walk it off, son. Matt walks over and held out his hand for him. Hey, that was my bad. Stefan grabbed his hand and gets up fully. It's all right. He removes his gloves and sees his finger broken before snapping it back in place. End of episode 3. Chapter 6, You're Lying. Start of episode 4. Time skip, Mystic Falls High School. Katie POV. Katie watch everyone set up for the football game, and she sees Stefan and Elena talking. But she can't hear the conversation, but she notices Stefan open a small box, and she sees Elena take out a necklace, and she sees Stefan help put the necklace on Elena. Zoelle walks over to her. Looks like romance isn't dead after all for Miss Gilbert, huh? Katie looks over to Zoelle. Honestly, she deserves it after everything that happened. I'm still mad that Mr. Tanner told her that her grief was just an excuse. Zoelle nods. He's a dick anyways, she thinks for a moment before looking over to Katie. Are you still coming home? I don't want anything bad happening between you and Caroline again. Katie looks at her and she nods. Yeah, I will. Katie looks over to Caroline, who stood in front of Elena. And you're not in uniform because, Caroline says as she puts her hand on her hips. Time skip night. Katie walks with Zoelle, and she sees someone lighting the wood on fire, and people celebrating, and she's behind a couple of people, and she watches everything that's happening. Tanner speaks into the microphone. Quiet down for a minute. Bonnie looks over to Elena, as Elena looks at her, before looking ahead. Tanner raises his hand. Wait, let's be honest here. In the past, we used to let other teams come into our town and roll right over us. Katie looks around as everyone starts booing. But that is about to change. We've got some great new talent tonight starring on Offense. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it has been a long time since I have seen a kid like this with hands like these. Let's give it up for Stefan Salvatore. Everyone starts to cheer. Tyler leaned over to Matt. This blows, he can't start the guy. He just got here. Katie watches Tyler leave, and she looked confused slightly. The next second she could hear fighting, and she moves to check it out, and she sees Jeremy and Tyler fighting. Vicky tries to stop them before Stefan stood in and stopped them. Jeremy grabs the broken bottle and tries to stab Tyler, but Stefan moved him out of the way, and he gets stabbed in his hand. Matt grabbed Tyler to hold him back. Tyler, knock it off. Tyler got out of his grip. Get off me. Katie holds her head as she shakes her head. Then she sees Jeremy get in Elena's face before walking off. Then she sees Elena checking on Stefan before she notices Elena's confused look. Then she sees Stefan leave and she walks over to Elena. Are you okay, Elena? Katie asks her. Elena looks at her and she nods slowly, still confused. I guess so. After a while, Caroline walks over to the girls as Katie goes to sit at the bleachers again, and she sees Bonnie talk to Elena about something she couldn't hear before she sees Elena walk off after a while, and she starts to feel that same bad feeling again, and she picks at the dry skin on her cuts to distract herself. After another while of looking around, she notices Bonnie walk to the side of the school, and she looks confused for a moment before she follows her, and she sees Tanner dead. Then she sees Bonnie freeze up before she touches her arm and Bonnie gasps. Bonnie's POV. Bonnie froze the second Katie's fingers brushed her arm. The world changes. The sound of the school hallway dulled to nothing, like someone had shoved her underwater. The air thickened, magic snapping tight around her chest as the vision took hold. Bonnie stood in an empty space, no doors, no sky, just darkness stretching endlessly in every direction. Then she saw Katie. Katie stood alone, small in the vast nothingness, her arms wrapped around herself like she was trying to keep herself from falling apart. Her face was red from crying. She didn't seem aware of. "I didn't do it," Katie whispered, voice barely there. "I swear I didn't." Bonnie felt it immediately: fear, sharp and overwhelming, not guilt, not bloodlust, fear. Katie shook her head repeatedly, like she was arguing with someone Bonnie couldn't see. "Stop it." The darkness shifted. A second presence shows itself behind Katie. Bonnie's breath caught. Soulless Katie stepped out of the shadows like she'd been waiting there the whole time. She looked exactly like Katie's same face, same body, but twisted. Her eyes were empty, cold, wrong. Her posture was confident, predatory, like she owned the space and everyone in it. "You're lying," soulless Katie snapped, her voice sharp and echoing unnaturally through the void. "You always do." Katie flinched, shirking in on herself. "I'm not," she whispered, but the words sounded fragile, like they might shatter if pushed too hard. Soulless Katie stalked closer, circling her like a wolf. "You keep hurting yourself to stop me from coming through, but one of these days, I will come through and kill everyone you love as revenge for everything they did to you." Katie's knees buckled slightly, and she caught herself before she fell. Her hands trembled. She looked weak, drained in a way Bonnie had never seen before, like every ounce of strength was being burned just to stay upright. "No," Katie shook her head. I won't let you hurt them." Eske laughed, a cruel, hollow sound. "You already are." She leaned closer, forehead nearly touching Katie's. "I can protect you. I can make it stop. You don't have to be afraid anymore." After Katie yelled at Eske that she doesn't want her protection, Bonnie's chest burned. This wasn't possession. It was war, and Katie was losing strength, but she was still fighting. The vision shattered violently, snapping Bonnie back into the side of the school with a sharp gasp, and she quickly removes her arm from Katie as she looks at her. "Blue." Katie POV. Katie looks at Bonnie. "Bonnie, are you okay?" She sees Bonnie back up slightly. Bonnie nods as she backs up. "Yeah, I just need to talk to Elena." Katie didn't push anymore, and she nods as she sees Bonnie walk off quickly. Katie looks confused, but she shakes her head before heading home. End of episode 4.